What's up, Mavletic lovers and listeners, and welcome back to another episode of Maverick Postgame. We've got another full show for you today as the football team has yet another tough loss.
And women's soccer finishes their game with a tie.
Plus, men's soccer gets a key win over the Ore Diggers.
And volleyball closes out the weekend tournament with an awesome victory.
All of that and so much more as we move ahead into this recap-packed episode of Maverick Postgame. So with that being said, I'm your host, Grace Metcalf.
And I'm Isaac Klein.
Let's dive into all the game-breaking stats, off-the-wall wins, heartbreaking losses, and in-depth analysis of our CMU athletics.
Roll it! Hello everyone, once again I'm Isaac Klein.
And I am Grace Metcalf. Let's hop right in and take a look at all the Mavtastic action that took place this week here at CMU. The Colorado Mesa football team had a tough loss this past Saturday against second-ranked School of Mines with a crushing score of 0-52. With the home game, we had lots of support and energy to encourage the Mavs, but it wasn't much help. Although CMU saw improvement over their loss at Western Colorado the previous week, it wasn't enough to stop the Ore Diggers from dominating all afternoon. Mine's first 3 touchdowns came on the ground on runs of 4, 8, and 15 yards. Despite the Mavericks moving the ball well, especially in the first half, they couldn't finish drives. They turned the ball over on downs their first 2 drives, stalling at the Mines 40, and then lost the ball on interceptions the next 2 drives. Trevin Edwards led the receivers with 4 catches for 39 yards, with David O'Connell and Keenan Brown catching 3 passes each for 55 and 34 yards. Respectively, a couple of potential touchdown passes were broken up in the end zone by Mines defenders. Liban Shongolo led the defensive effort with 13 tackles, and LaMarcus Reed had 7. CMU will look to snap its 3-game losing streak when it travels to Durango on October 14th to play the winless Fort Lewis College. The Mavs return to Starker Stadium on October 21st for homecoming against Adams State University. The challenge now, Coach Kochever said, is to learn from back-to-back losses to nationally ranked teams and move forward. He sees a team hungry for success. It's just a matter of channeling that hunger into execution. As a team, the Maverick Mesa's offense generated 229 yards of offense and had its second-best rushing game of the season with 87 yards and 28 carries.
The Colorado Mesa women's soccer suffered its first setback 10 matches into the 2023 season, battling to a 1-on-1 draw with MSU Denver. Each team traded a fantastic volley goal in a 6-minute span midway through the second half, with Brooklyn Gold scoring for MSU Denver and Kylie Wells finding the net for the Mavs. Wells had 6 shots to lead the Mavericks, while Abby Fotheringham collected 4 shots and 3 on goal. Odessa Correa and Michaela Ecker had 3 shots each. Kelly Wizarek made a career-high 5 saves in goal for the Mavericks. The teams this week were scoreless through the first 45 minutes. More about the quantity of chances than the quality of the Mavericks. The quality of the Mavericks ranked up from 15 shot attempts and forced back into 8. Wizarek made 4 saves of her own. The goalkeeper truly seemed to be challenged as most of the attempts were from long range. Wizarek had to be alert just before halftime as Meg Gonzalez kicked the ball a mile high into the air from about 30 yards away. It nearly dipped under the crossbar at a crazy angle, but the 5'3" Wizarek had the hops to safely tip it over the bar. MSU Denver came out with more energy in the second half and soon had the lead. After a sustained period of having the ball in the Mavs' defensive area, Gonzalez whipped a ball into the box for the perfectly timed run of Brooklyn Gold, who side-footed it first time past a frozen Wizarek to give the Roadrunners the lead and hand the Mavericks their first deficit in 8 matches. The Mavericks responded with a similar-looking goal 6 minutes later as Odessa Correa hit a wonderful curling ball into the box. A Roadrunner defender leaped for the ball but was unable to make contact with it, and Wells was waiting at the back post to finish from point-blank range. As a team, the Mavericks, despite outshooting the Roadrunners 23-11 and putting 12 shots on target, MSU goalkeeper Kylie Bach made 10 saves to earn her team a point. Although the Mavs will be disappointed with having their perfect start snapped, the team still made more program history with the result. Colorado Mesa has gone 10 games unbeaten to start a season for the first time.
The Colorado Mesa men's soccer followed a familiar formula by taking a close game and pulling away in the second half, this time to secure a win over the conference's longtime power. Second half goals from Luis Fabregat and Manuel Ponce Casas lifted CMU to a 3-2 victory over Colorado School of Mines, a massive win over the program, which has secured the past 6 RMAC regular season titles. Colorado Mesa drew first blood less than 5 minutes into the match when Connor Chilson's perfectly weighted cross from the right side found the head of Fernando Morales, who directed it into the right side netting from close range on a counterattack with 4 minutes and 45 seconds on the match clock. Mines answered in the 28th minute with a goal from senior forward Chris Seary, sending the teams to the locker rooms at halftime tied 1-1. It was the 10th goal of Seary's career. Like they have so many times this season, the Mavs turned on the accelerators in the second half to take control of the match. They got a go-ahead goal in the 57th minute when the Ore Diggers were unable to clear their lines off a Mesa throw, and the ball ricocheted back to Luis Fabregat. The Spaniard directed the ball to Moses Martinez, who flicked it onto Joey Joyner, who then worked it back to Martinez and back to Fabregat, each player taking 2 touches or less, and Fabregat found himself one-on-one and fired low into the bottom left corner past the Mines keeper for the lead. Colorado Mesa got a third goal 10 minutes later. Moses Maggins made a long, winding run with the ball into Mines territory, but was eventually dispossessed by an Ore Digger defender. The defender's intended pass backwards towards goal took a major deflection off a second Mines defender, which popped the ball up in the air in no man's land behind the Mines defense. The react was sophomore forward Manuel Ponce Casas, who won the race to the ball, rolled his dribble and fired far post across goal into the bottom left corner for his 4th goal of the season. Down without a fight, taking 8 corner kicks in the second half and forcing CMU into 4 saves. The home team got a goal back off a corner kick in the 89th minute. Raymond Jackson initially made a fantastic goal line clearance off a headed shot attempt, but it was CMU's turn to have an attempted clearance go off a defender, this time into the net for an own goal. The Mavericks were able to run out the remaining minute and 30 seconds without further incident, however securing the points. As a team, the Mavericks collected the win despite being outshot 14-8 by the Ore Diggers, on goal compared to CMU's 5. Colorado Mesa also outscored Mines 2-1 in the second half, despite the Ore Diggers having an 11-5 shots advantage in that period.
The Colorado Mesa University volleyball team improved to a 16-1 for the first time in program history with a 4-set 25-17, 21-25, 25-16, and 25-23 road win over Adams State University on Saturday, the nation's 10th ranked. Mavericks looked like they were destined to lead had a 5th set before rallying from 22-17 down thanks to Leffler's heroics as the junior outside hitter rattled off 3 consecutive kills to cut the deficit to 22-20, forcing a Grizzly timeout. The teams then exchanged points, which made the score 23-21 before Leffler continued to tear with 4 more kills, including that one that withstood a Grizzly video review. To close out the victory, CMU's 8th straight in the rivalry. The win also moved CMU to 6-1 in RMAC play, while the Grizzlies fell to 4-12 overall and to 2-4 in RMAC play. Leffler, who leads the RMAC in kills with 264, put down 10 in the 4th set alone, as the Mavericks hit .312 as a team after hitting .359 in the 3rd set. They were also locked in a close battle in that 3rd frame and led by just a single point at 12-11 before going on an 8-2 run to open up a 20-13 gap en route to the point win. CMU hit .23 in the 1st set win, but was guilty of 15 hitting errors in the opening before 2 frames before playing much cleaner volleyball in the second half of the match, committing just 5 in the third and fourth in the decisive. As a team, the Mavericks finished with a big 64-46 advantage in total kills, while Sabrina Vandalist recorded 47 assists and 9 digs, one shy of her third successive double-double. The Mavs also had a 74-54 edge in digs and held the Grizzlies to .186 hitting while hitting .12.
Now that we have recapped some of the games, it's time to announce our Maverick of the Week. Our Maverick of the Week goes to Sydney Leffler. Sydney was named as the RMAC Offensive Player of the Week after she recorded 41 kills and a 44.5 total points to lead all RMAC players last week while extending her RMAC lead in both categories. Congratulations, Sydney, for your outstanding performance. You are our Maverick of the Week. We are now at the end of our show. Time for our closing statements. For my closing thoughts, I once again want to discuss our football team. The team has really seemed to be out of funk and not doing well to work together. I'm hoping they can snap out of whatever funk it is that they are in and start to perform like we know they can.
Yeah, last week was a tough game to watch. The swim teams. The Mavs won by a combined 6 relays as both the men's and women's squads took second at Saturday afternoon. Denver relays swimming and diving meet. It's a great way to head into their upcoming season.
That is awesome, and it makes me ready to see how well they perform this season. Now that we have wrapped up all the action from this week and given our closing thoughts, it is time to close the show. Thank you everyone so much for joining us this week on Maverick Postgame. I've been your host, Grace Metcalf.
And I've been Isaac Klein.
Be sure to go check out our channel 62.2 for more games and updates. We'll catch you next week on an all-new recap-packed episode of Maverick Postgame. Stay safe, Mavs, study hard, go to a game or two, and of course, have yourselves a most amazing day.